Deep within the emerald heart of the rainforest, the air hung heavy with moisture and the scent of damp earth. A small monkey pushed through a curtain of thick emerald vines, his movements weary. Every rustle of the leaves seemed to echo the hollow growl in his stomach. He scanned the high canopy, searching for the slightest glimmer of fruit, but the shadows were thick. Suddenly, a sharp, intoxicatingly sweet scent hit his nostrils.
Cutting through the musk of the jungle, it was the smell of roasted nuts, rich and oily. His eyes widened,
Pupils dilating in the dim light. Without a second thought, he dropped from the safety of the high branches, his small body plummeting through the air before landing silently on the soft, mossy soil below. Beneath the broad, fan-like leaves of a palm tree, he found it. A hollowed-out coconut shell sat anchored firmly to a heavy wooden stake driven deep into the earth. To the monkey, it looked like a treasure chest.
Inside the small, circular opening, a pile of golden nuts glinted like buried coins in the fading light.
He didn't stop to wonder why such a prize sat alone on the forest floor. He lunged forward, his heart racing with anticipation. He shoved his slender hand through the narrow opening, his fingers brushing against the smooth, hard shells of the nuts. He curled his hand into a tight, greedy fist, grabbing as many as he could carry. The bounty was heavy, his palm overflowing. But as he tried to pull his hand back, the wood bit into his skin. His fist, now bulged and wide, was far too large to pass back through the hole. He yanked his arm, but the shell remained stubbornly anchored to the stake. Confusion turned to a flicker of fear. He braced his small feet against the dark dirt, leaning back with all his weight, pulling until his shoulder muscles throbbed with the strain. His knuckles scraped painfully against the jagged edges of the coconut, but he refused to loosen his grip. Those nuts were his. He looked down at his trapped limb, then back at the golden prize hidden within his palm. He was a prisoner of his own desire. The silence of the forest suddenly felt heavy, as if the trees themselves were watching his struggle. He pulled again, a low whimper escaping his throat, but the trap held fast. A twig snapped. The sound was like a gunshot in the stillness. The monkey froze, his ears twitching. From the dense ferns, the sound of heavy boots crunched on dead leaves, growing louder with every heartbeat. Shadows lengthened across the forest floor as a tall figure emerged from the mist. The hunter was here. In his right hand, he carried a heavy net, draped like a shroud. The monkey's heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird. He tugged violently, his breath coming in ragged gasps. But the coconut shell didn't budge. He clawed at the wood with his free hand, desperately trying to widen the hole. But it was solid, unforgiving ironwood, 10 paces away. The hunter's eyes locked onto the small, trembling creature. 5 paces. The net was raised high, a dark cloud ready to fall. The monkey looked at his clenched fist, the weight of the nuts suddenly feeling like lead. In the final second, he let go. His fingers uncurled, and the golden nuts tumbled back into the dark hollow of the shell. His hand slid free in an instant, light as a feather. With a powerful spring, he launched himself upward, his fingers catching a low-hanging vine just as the net swept through the empty air below. He scrambled into the high canopy, disappearing into the safety of the dark leaves. From a high branch, he looked down. He watched the hunter reach the empty trap, kick the coconut in frustration, and disappear back into the shadows. The monkey looked at his empty palm.
He had no food, but the path ahead was clear. He climbed higher, leaving the dangerous floor behind, finally free.